আজকে 20শে অক্টোবর 2015 আমি ইজিপ্ট বেড়াতে এসেছি কক্স অ্যান্ড প্রিন্সের সঙ্গে। আমরা এখন পাপিরাস মিউজিয়ামে আছি।
You have come tonight to the most fabulous and celebrated place in the world. Here on the plateau of Gizeh stands forever the mightiest of human achievements. No traveler, emperor, merchant or poet has trodden on these sands and not gasped in awe. The curtain of night is about to rise and disclose the stage on which the drama of a civilization took place. Those involved have been present since the dawn of history, pitched stubbornly against sand and wind. And the voice of the desert has crossed the centuries.
His first ray is for my face, which is turned towards him. And for 5,000 years I have seen all the suns men can remember come up in the sky. I saw the history of Egypt in its first glow, as tomorrow I shall see the East burning with a new flame. I am the faithful warden at the foot of his Lord. So faithful, so vigilant, so near him that he gave me his face for my own. I am a Pharaoh's companion, and I am he, the Pharaoh. Through the ages, I received many names from the people who came to me in adoration.
Oh, Hamakis, you are my life's safeguard.
Horus, protect me, oh great God, that I might see you every day.
Lord of the desert,
Lord of the heaven, Sovereign of eternity.
but the name which has remained with me is that given to me by a Greek traveler, the father of history, Herodotus. He called me Sphinx, as if I were from his land, and that name is now mine. Close to the Nile, I watch over the plateau of Gizeh, over all its monuments of modest or fantastic height. They are tombs.
Civilizations are like islands on the ocean of barbarism. Over this one, the Sphinx has gazed and watched for 5,000 years. At the foot of such mountains of stone, everything becomes minute and insignificant. Man is an insect. And yet, it was men who built these massive monuments. And the names of pharaohs whose tombs they are have crossed the ages. Their glory has defeated time.
This is the tomb of Pharaoh of the 4th dynasty, 4,500 years ago. Here is the great pyramid which he built to defend himself against death.
455 feet high. He achieved the building of the highest monument then known to man. The area it covers is vast enough to hold St. Peter's Cathedral in Rome, the cathedrals of Florence and Milan, Westminster Abbey and St. Paul's. 3 million blocks of stone, some of them weighing 30 tons, were assembled by Cheops' faithful workmen to achieve this fabulous construction. At the center of it, the pharaoh planned his inner chamber, where his mummy was to lie in splendor for eternity.
At the foot of this pyramid, in the rock, a temple was built, and there were kept the barges of Cheops, the barges of night. In these large wooden vessels, the dead pharaoh could continue his voyage in darkness toward eternity. But all that remains of him is a small ivory figure, showing a noble face, the nose aquiline, the jaw determined, and the hieroglyphs representing the name he gave to his pyramid. Cheops dominates the horizon.
The Pyramid of Khephren. It too bears an inscription, Khephren is great. Yet, out of respect for his father Cheops, Khephren built his pyramid on a slightly smaller scale. Each side of the base measuring 710 feet, the angle being 52 degrees, it reaches a height of 445 feet. The brilliant covering of polished limestone on the apex originally extended over all 4 sides, adding to the magnificence of the pyramid.
The face of Khephren has come down to us sculpted in green diorite streaked with white, a rare stone he brought back from an expedition. Here he is, close to us, in the guise of the Sphinx, carved in rock near his tomb. Mycerinus. A third monumental tomb was soon to complete this immense funeral site of Gizeh and make it one of the wonders of the world. Though smaller, the Pyramid of Mycerinus is perhaps the most impressive for being the culminating point of a vast design. Having built it, the workmen climbed down from its granite flanks and, laying down their tools, looked up with wonderment.
Great and powerful was Memphis, the capital city in the plain which joined Upper and Lower Egypt.
Great and powerful were the pharaohs, who on this side of the Nile built for eternity.
Its aim accomplished, the fourth dynasty collapsed. But the pyramids still stand. And the inscription on the one that completed the design claims, "Divine is Mykerinos."
Here 3 pharaohs reign, Cheops, Khephren, and Mykerinos. Sarcophagi may be empty, wrappings unwound, yet Cheops, Khephren, and Mykerinos still reign, bearing the double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt. They reign over their court, buried round, over these small pyramids where their queens lie, over the tombs of their ministers, over the whole hierarchy, sleeping forever. Chamberlains, high priests, buffoons, architects, courtesans, each in his proper place in these funerary chambers, which are called mastabas. For this is a royal palace of the dead, with triumphal perspectives, pavilions, corridors, secret rooms, strong walls. It was a city of another world, approachable by the people only as near as the outer temples where their devotion led them.
Coming from the Nile, one ascended by a monumental causeway built on the same colossal scale to the high temples where only the priests lived among the secrets of the mummies. They alone knew for what journey the great barges were being prepared at the foot of the tombs. A journey with the sun. A journey which has lasted 4,500 years. In the maze of this necropolis, let us stand by a tomb like 1,000 others, that of the mother of Cheops, and in it, by the litter, marked with golden hieroglyphs, which she had prepared for the eternal journey by her son's side. Neither wind, nor sand, nor centuries could ever entirely silence the voice of the desert.
I saw Antony and Cleopatra pass, Alexander, Caesar, and Napoleon paused at my feet. I saw the ambitious dreams of conquerors whirling like dead leaves. As my motto, I chose an Arab saying, "The world fears time, but time fears the pyramids."
Of all ancient monuments, it is the pyramids which have always appealed most vividly to man's imagination. Considered from its top downwards, a pyramid is like the sun's rays bursting through a gap in the clouds. It commemorates the greatest victory of all, victory over death. It is the most perfect mansion, the strongest tent, whose great stone sides are both roof and wall, and so carefully sealed that the dream entrusted to it can live to the end of the world. The dream of immortality. To achieve this, embalmers prepared the body for 2 months, emptying it of all but its heart and kidneys. Hidden in the secrecy of its tomb, attended by a whole crowd of statues, provided with all that was necessary for the journey, there in the sarcophagus lay the mummy, to be called on by the soul. For alone and without the body, the soul could not go into the night. And from the depths of this tomb still rises the scent of herbs, cedar oil, resin, and myrrh. But a pyramid is also the perfect combination of simplicity and magnitude, and the interplay of its angles makes the best harmony of shape and volume. It is architecture's purest.
Geometers, astronomers to whom no star was unknown, engineers, architects, a whole people, while the rest of the world hunted wild beasts and sheltered in caves.
O noble Nile, I salute you, for your waters flow majestically and fostered this sacred enterprise. One day the desert sands invaded the fields, marshes dried up on the river's bank, and so to save his life, man invented civilization. He had to contend with floods, he designed dams and culverts. He came to love the earth and wanted for his grave. But soon he wished to outlive the earth. And it was farmers, helped once more by their beneficent river, who built these monumental houses of the dead.
And I, Catherine's faithful companion, saw the progress of dynasties and grave priests, and the light steps of noble ladies whose diaphanous veils seemed to clothe them, yet not to touch them.
Do you remember the story of the Falcon that stole a sandal while the women were bathing? He snatched it in his beak and by chance dropped it near a pharaoh who was giving audience in his garden. So slender was the sandal, so small its size, that the pharaoh wished to see the owner. And he married her.
And do you remember how a nobleman at the court of Cheops lured his wife's lover into a deep lake by means of a wax figure, and there had him turned into a crocodile by a magician? Wishing to impress the pharaoh with his magical powers, he willingly revealed what he had done, but carelessly too. For Cheops punished the guilty and the boaster equally. On his orders, the courtier was thrown to the crocodile, which devoured him.
His shoulders were broad, his waist slender, his thighs were of bronze, and he could tame at will the wildest horse. His exploits are engraved on a stone which he laid before him.
Then time in passing left him behind like an old mother. Sand is beginning to choke us. Kept by war in Mesopotamia, Amenhotep II
was far away from his land. Then one day, while hunting the lion, a prince stopped to rest in your shadow. He fell asleep. You gave him a dream and spoke to him.
Cast your eyes upon me, my son. Listen to me, and the white crown and the red will be yours. The crown of Upper and of Lower Egypt. Yours will be the land in its breadth and length. Do you see how I am forlorn? How my body is neglected? I, the master of the plateau of Gizeh, deliver me from the sands, and you will be king.
When he woke up, young man obeyed, delivered you from the sands, was crowned as King Tutmosis IV, and had engraved between your four legs the dream you inspired him with. And then there was great rejoicing.
The coronation ceremonies have begun. Crowds have gathered on the bank of the Nile to watch the ritual tests of strength. Now the royal barge is coming upriver, manned by 200 oarsmen. Responding to the excitement of the crowd, they increase their pace. The pharaoh himself at the tiller maneuvers perfectly and brings the barge smoothly into the landing stage with a last burst of speed. Cheers break out as the pharaoh comes ashore and swiftly makes his way towards the targets of copper set for his display of archery. The crowds follow him to watch.
Here, while he waits for his bows to be brought, his eye is caught by the bucking of a half-tamed horse, and he harnesses it to his chariot. There's a gasp in the crowd, but the pharaoh is holding the reins tightly and curbing the horse to his will. He drives it round the dais, then brings it quietly back to its groove. The crowd cheers.
Now the pharaoh has chosen his bow. He has tried more than 50 others before selecting this one. He mounts his chariot, rides off towards the first target. The arrow has gone straight into the center. And again, and now his last arrow hits the target and goes right through.
This is his triumph. Standing up in his chariot, the pharaoh makes for the dais where his throne awaits him. The court, the priests, the people present him with praise, incense, and offerings. He receives the double crown and, mounting his triumphal chariot, goes to worship in the temples of Harmakis, Cheops, and Khephren. Long live the pharaoh!
The monarch's reign has ended. The pharaoh is dead. And now from the valley rises the sad lament of his funeral.
In his coffin made of wood, adorned with gold and precious stones. The ceremony at the lower temple is over, and ascending the causeway, the funeral procession nears the tomb, escorted by princes, high state officials, and priests. The sarcophagus is ready at the heart of the pyramid, in the funerary chamber. And everything has been prepared for the crossing of the lake, which leads to the gates of the other world. The last slab of stone is going to be sealed with such cunning that it will never be known which part of the wall was the door.
Disappear.
Found his own city. He rejects the god Amon and his priests to worship a god of his own choosing, Aton, who is in heaven. And he discards the name of Amenhotep IV to adopt another, Akhenaton, Aton the unique.
Nor tarnish the treasures gathered round him in his unfinished tomb of the Valley of the Kings. Today, the world marvels at them.
I, who know the untouchable stars, Nile which made Egypt cannot unmake Egypt. I saw conquerors reflect before me and bow their heads. I saw Alexander the Great, handsome as a barbarian.
The inscription was in Greek characters and hieroglyphs. This was the cornerstone of Egyptology.
True, it still remained to interpret its message. First came an Englishman, then a Frenchman, Jean-Paul.
Tomorrow, once more, the rising sun will give me his first caress. Thousands of other suns shall rise again, and man's oldest achievement will remain the highest, the purest.
The Nile be praised, for it is the father of all our harvests, all our knowledge, all our architecture, all our strength.
The Nile be praised. From its banks came one of the 7 wonders of the world.
The Nile be praised, for it bears tomorrow's prosperity and happiness.
The Nile, river of hope, from Aswan to the Delta.
The Nile, which is not a grave,
But a cradle.
And more. But the spirit which conceived these monuments cannot perish.
এখন আমরা আলেকজান্দ্রিয়াতে পম্পেই এসেছি দেখতে। ও এটাই পম্পে। আমরা আজকে সকালবেলা আলেকজান্দ্রিয়া থেকে কায়রো যাচ্ছি। কায়রো দেখে ট্রেনে করে লাক্সার যাব। সকালবেলা হোটেলের লবি। আমাদের লোকাল ট্যুর ম্যানেজার আহমেদ। সামনে মেডিটেরিয়ান সি। शेराटन ममताज होटल। এখন সকাল 6:10, বেশ ঠান্ডা হাওয়া দিচ্ছে। আমরা এখন আলেকজান্দ্রিয়া থেকে কায়রোতে এসেছি পিরামিড দেখতে।
Sem bengala, hein?
Sem bengala, sem nada assim.
Diz no bolso e eu রেখে এসো।
এই বন্ধু এই আরে শর্টকাট টিপস আমার জীবনে শর্টকাট ট্রি লিপস
বড় বড় পাথরগুলোকে ধাপে ধাপে বসানো। পিরামিডে এরকম বড় বড় পাথর ধাপে ধাপে বসানো আছে।
Thank you for painting. Thank you.
পিরামিডের উপরে ওঠার জন্য এরকম সিঁড়ি করা আছে পাথরের। লাইট অ্যান্ড সাউন্ড আমরা যে দেখেছি এই পিরামিডের উপরেই লাইট অ্যান্ড সাউন্ড হয়েছে পেছন দিকটা, এটার সামনের দিকে। পুরো কায়রো শহরটা দেখা যাচ্ছে এখান থেকে। পাথরের ধাপে ধাপে সাজানো, ভেতরে ছবি তুলতে দেয় না, ঢুকতে গেলে ক্যামেরা ছাড়া ঢুকতে হবে।
شاي عناب نسكافيه شاي شاي بديل شاي شاي بديل الشاي وين يا رضا رضا شاي شاي نسكافيه عناب شاي ينسون
متصور
I will take your photo. You can show your name?
لا 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 no 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 your name
Your name?
رانيا
Your name?
آية
And you?
and you نادية مي
You are a school student or college?
we are in prep school
School? School student. You are local people?
صور واحد Okay, thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Panorama.
এখানে এই জায়গাটা আমার জায়গা তো
হ্যাঁ দাঁড়া দাঁড়া ঠিক আছে। এখানে 3টে পিরামিড গোটা আছে, তার ওপাশে কিছু ভাঙা পিরামিড আছে যেটা ভেঙে গেছে। স্প্রিংস, এখানেই লাইট অ্যান্ড সাউন্ড হয়েছিল। আমরা এখন দিনের বেলা এসেছি।
The temple in these small pits in the ground. Alright? This place, when it was first built, it was top or roof. And the only way to provide the light was through these wall cuts right there, to provide some very dim light to the temple. Why is that? Because this temple is a sacred place. This is a holy place. It doesn't need to be shiny or bright. So the dim light system that they made at that time adds to the holy atmosphere of the temple, or the sacred atmosphere of the temple. As I told you, this was as far as the common people could go within the complex, because starting from the causeway, or the entrance to the causeway, it's only the noblemen, the royal family, and the priests.
পাশ থেকে গিজা পিরামিড, এই পিরামিডের ভেতরে রাজাদের সমাধি থাকতো, মমি থাকতো। আমরা আজকে কায়রো থেকে ট্রেনে করে আসওয়ানে এসেছি। এখানে আমরা বোটে করে ফিলাই টেম্পল দেখতে এসেছি। টেম্পলটা ইনকমপ্লিট।
যান আপনি যান, আমি তুলে দিচ্ছি আপনার একটা।
না না
যান যান, আরে এইগুলো আর পাবেন কোথায়? ওখানে দাঁড়ান।
ওখানে রোদের মধ্যে দাঁড়াতে পারবো না।
রোদে যাবেন কেন, এখানে দাঁড়ান, উঠে যাবেন।
ছায়াতে যেটুকুনি চলছে।
শুধু বলে দিন কোনটা,
কিচ্ছু করতে হবে না।
শাটার টিপে দিলেই হবে।
হ্যাঁ শাটার টেপার না, ভিডিও তো এটা।
ও আপনি ভিডিও লাগিয়ে বসে আছেন।
আসওয়ানে ফিলাই টেম্পলের ভেতরে
Ancient times, this part was really also should be closed by a wooden door. You can see there is a part where it's closed. And actually, every day the high priest is only for the king. This was open door. টেম্পলটা অরিজিনালি সামনে পিলারের ওখানে ছিল, এখান থেকে তুলে নিয়ে গিয়ে ওখানে রেখেছে।
ডিসকভারি চ্যানেলে একটা দেখাচ্ছি, দেখলে মুভি না হাউস, লিটারালি হাউসটাকে এরকম মানে ঘোরা থেকে খুলে নিচে এসে হুইল ফিল লাগিয়ে রাস্তাতে কি যাচ্ছে না বাড়ি
Wow, like my wife. Yeah, she's a history teacher. Wow, that's a change. What change you teach? It's really amazing. They're feeling cool, but
রাতের আসমান ভোর 4টে। আমরা এখন আবু সিম্বল যাচ্ছি। এই যে ছবিগুলো তুলছি, ভিডিও।
عايزين فعلا هنوطيهم كده احنا بره بقى ولا يشوفوا
আবু সিম্বল যাচ্ছি।
আপনি এদিকে ঘুরতে পারবেন।
হ্যাঁ, বাঁদিকে এখান থেকে আসবে না, বাঁদিকে মেঘের মধ্যে দিয়ে সূর্য ধরে যাচ্ছে। দুপাশে মরুভূমি, মরুভূমির মধ্যে দিয়ে রাস্তা। আমরা এখন আবু সালেম যাচ্ছি, মরুভূমির ওপর দিয়ে রাস্তা। এখন এখানে 6:54, আমরা ভোর 4টে আমাদের স্টার্ট করেছে ক্লাস। 3 ঘন্টার উপর লাগবে রাস্তা। একদম সুদান বর্ডারের কাছে। না, ওটা তো ফিরে এসে দেবে বললো।